Is your debt causing you sleepless nights? Knock your debt out with Debt KO. And your debt won't be the only thing keeping you up at night. Debt KO, free, impartial advice on all your debt.
This is something that comes along every now and then in generation, and it's special.
Andrew McCART, IFL TV in association with MTK Global. Delighted once again to be joined by Liam Smith. Let's just get this out of the way again. Ping pong score between me and you?
11-2 me.
Well, that's that out of the way. No talk about ping pong. Well, maybe let's talk a little bit ping pong. Jesse Vargas rocked up last night. You and him had a good game of ping pong. Then you had a game of foosball. You won the ping pong. He won the foosball. It's 1 each. Now let's talk about you two fighting in the ring. That could be the decider. What's your thoughts on that?
He was in the building yesterday. We played a game of ping pong and we spoke about it. I had a laughing joke with him saying whoever wins gets the home corner and walks the ring second. But that was just a joke. But we spoke about speaking to Eddie while we're here and see if he's got a date for us to fight each other. We both, I think we both want that fight. We're both happy for that fight, and I think it's a good fight to make. I don't think either of us are gonna be getting a world title fight next. So I think he beats me or I beat him, puts him in line for a world title. It's not a routine win, probably a 50-50 fight, and I think it's two former world champions fighting each other. So it'll be a good fight, and it's one that I hope can be done next.
Eddie's obviously away back to Miami for the Golovkin fight tonight, but for you and Jesse, are you hoping to get Eddie together to put it on him in that way to talk about the fight as a threesome, or are you just going to go on yourself with Eddie, or are you going to grab Jesse to help you along?
No, I think when Eddie's back tomorrow, I think I've got something to do with the Zone and Jesse tomorrow, talking about Can Hit Canelo, and obviously I think the Zone might mention me and Jesse fighting. So I think if the Zone are mentioning it and pushing for it, then the Zone will be happy with that fight. So it puts an idea in Eddie's mind, but I know Eddie's already thinking of it. He's probably just thinking of what date and what show it can go on, so what that makes sense for himself. So it's if I get Eddie or Jesse's insight, then I'll pull both of them together and see what we can do. Yeah, definitely.
Yes, that's what I like to hear. Let's talk about Jesse in the fight. You said it's a 50-50 fight, and I've seen Jesse fight and I've seen you fight. I mean, for me personally, I think that's a fan-friendly war. Do you see that as well, as a fan-friendly war between the two of you?
Of course, definitely. I think both. I don't mean styles as we've got the same style, but we're similar in we both like a fight. He's been in some good fights over the years. He doesn't really hold, and he's not awkward, not much awkwardness about him. The same with me, and I think it will be a very, very good fight. I always come to fight. I always come, and Jesse always comes to fight. So I think it'll be a 50-50 fight mentioned. I don't personally think it's a 50-50 fight because I feel, I beat Jesse Vargas. I feel I'm too big, too strong for Jesse Vargas. But, I'm sure he'd probably tell you the same thing. But for yourself and for other people, listening to it, it's a 50-50 fight.
When it goes on, you said this is going to be, we're not going to get a world title fight next. That's what you said. So the winner of this fight, are you hoping for a world title fight next after if and when you beat Jesse Vargas?
Yeah, definitely. Obviously 2021. I'm pushing towards that now. I'm number 3 with the WBO now. I was 2. Tim Tszyu's gone above me. So obviously I think I beat Vargas, I'll go back above him, and then I'm the next mandatory in line for Teixeira. He's fighting Castano, who's number 1 as a mandatory challenger now. And I think if I beat Vargas or Vargas beat me, the WBO would rank them highly because we're both in the rankings. We're both former WBO champions. So I think a win from either of us puts you right in line for a world title, definitely.
Where would you like that fight to be? Here in the States, or would you like it back home, maybe Liverpool or London or something like that?
Anywhere. I wouldn't mind it anywhere. Hopefully we're back to normal. We can have a crowd wherever the fight is. Personal reason, I love fighting in America. I fought there 3 times. I trained there 15 times. I've been there a lot. I like being in America and being around, fights in America. So I wouldn't mind going to, Vargas is from Vegas. I wouldn't mind having it there, but if it's back home, I'd love it also.
I've got to ask you, Liam. I mean, Canelo Munguia. Teixeira's about the champion if you fight Vargas. Vargas is Mexican-American. Is there something about the Mexican style that you just love to fish?
Yeah, you know, but...
Well, you were called the Mexican away. What was it?
I don't know, I'd be called like the you know, Scouts Mexican people have called. I think that's where someone called me El Bifo. But, you know, I probably, if you ask me a preferred style to fight against, it would be one of those. You know, I don't want to be running after, I know Teixeira likes to fight for the southpaw, to be honest with you, but I don't want to be fighting some big awkward southpaw who's running on the back foot and making it a nightmare for me. You know, and I prefer a fight that somebody's there to be hit, and you know, obviously you can try and pick gaps in them and catch and counter and stuff like that. That's obviously my preferred option. So all the Mexicans seem to be brought up that way.
Thing is, for you, I want to talk about your brother and Canelo again, obviously with the weigh-in and how you thought they both looked. But for you, obviously the dream for you is to be world champion again, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely, especially because, you know, I'm quite close to it, you know what I mean? Obviously, if this pandemic didn't come in, I've been out the ring 12 months, but so was 80% of boxers. But if this pandemic didn't come, I maybe would have fought. I think I was meant to fight in May. It's been that long. I was meant to fight in May on Usyk Chisora. So I would have probably fought May, then maybe September, and I'd probably been having my third fight of the year in December, maybe if it was normal circumstances. So I'm pretty sure if we can get back up and running, you know, beat Jesse Vargas, then I'll probably fight for a world title next anyway. But that is obviously got to be me aim to become world champion again. And then I've probably got 2 years left. I'm 32 now. So, you know, I'm looking towards a big fight, big world title fight, or you know, the most money possible.
Yep, definitely. Your brother and Canelo, Canelo weighed in this morning. Both of them bang on the bottom, 168. Both of them look strong. Both of them look ready to rock and roll. Even though their demeanour doesn't say it, but the stare downs and the face to face, they're sick of all this now, aren't they? They just want to fight.
Yeah, you know, two of them are professional. You know, and that's the best way to describe them. They'll stand and do a head to head. They won't burst out laughing. They also won't give each other, you know, loads of shit. But then, you know, they will do the head to head properly. They'll fist pump and say see you tomorrow. And they've been like that, you know, all weekend in the stuff they've had to do with the media side. And obviously you've seen yourself, the media, it's a lot. And it's been long days for them to sit in rooms for 4 hours getting asked the same question over and over and over. And then you have to go and do a photo shoot, and then you've got to go and do Zoom calls. It's long days for them, but I think they both handled it as top pros. They both in very, very good shape today on the scales. Two of them looked in great shape, and you know you can see that they're both gonna turn up tomorrow. You know, both demeanours. Canelo's here, probably it definitely hasn't looked overlook Callum, and Callum's here to, you know, prove to the world how good he is, and he's not here to make up numbers. You know, he's here to do a job.
That's kind of what Eddie Hearn said, but he also said that this fight isn't going past 9 rounds. He didn't say who for, Callum or Canelo, but he just feels like both of them are just in their prime, both 30. Callum can hit, Canelo can hit. Do you share that sentiment with Eddie Hearn?
I could see where it's coming from, yeah, and he could be bang on the money, but it wouldn't surprise me either way. I just think it's a tough fight, as in competitive wise. Two of them, I touched on what I was saying before, like two of them are like the same type of shot, you know, left hook or left hook the body, and for them to get close to throw that, it's got to be a good fight, you know what I mean? Obviously Callum has to use his advantages when need be. You know, people are trying to kind of saying, like, you need to do it clever. Callum can't get in the ring and just run and try and jab, and you know, Canelo's too good for that and too strong for that, too clever for that. He's got to show his size and his reach and his power in, and be clever doing that, you know what I mean? He's got to jab when need be, he's got to fight when need be, and he's got to be smart and, you know, use the ring a little bit when need be. So obviously we're under no illusions. Callum needs to perform, Callum needs to be at his best, and you know, I feel Saturday he will be.
Everyone's made sort of like a remark or made a comment about the way Callum goes about his business. He's calm. You don't see much. He doesn't give much emotion away. But for you, as his older brother, sitting ringside when he's facing somebody like Canelo, what's your demeanour? How do you feel? You nervous? You're happy? You're excited? What's your sort of emotions going into that fight tomorrow night?
I was sitting there ringside, nervous as worse than Callum probably. I'll be, and that's no way to lie. Me and Stephen and more. So Paul Paul's a little bit better than me and Stephen around it, but me and Stephen are shocking, like, well versed on the fight. But also like that with Stephen when Paul used to box. But I just think it's because it's not really in my hands. That's why I'm. But bear in mind, I'll be no more nervous tomorrow against Canelo than I would be if he got in for 12 rounds against. You know, yeah. And I think it's just because I know the brutal side of boxing, and I know one punch can change it at any moment. So you know, this level tomorrow especially, you don't get bad fighters. You don't get fighters who can't punch. You know what I mean? Two of them, and I'll say this with the greatest respect, two of them could end you at any given moment. You know, one clean shot, and I don't care how good each other's chins are. They've both got that much power and explosiveness. If you can't tell me, Callum, it's Canelo on the button. Canelo doesn't move. You know what I mean? If you hit someone a certain point, that point they have no option. It's not about choosing to go down. You know what I mean? I think these two have got the power to do that to each other if they land the right shot.
Well, Liam, I won't keep you much longer. I know you're probably sick and tired of the media yourself. Even you've done quite a bit yourself, and you're doing a wee bit with the zone. But
I've done loads for weeks. I feel like, you know, I've done more than I do for my own fights. No one's asked when I'm fighting now. Callum's fighting and I fought him. I'm getting bombarded.
yeah, that's the good thing. Well, listen, I want my title back on that table tennis as well. But finally, what do you think of my dance moves last night?
Oh mate, it was hilarious. Honestly, that was killed me. That so social media went up raw.
I know Paul got me an extra 100 followers on Instagram, so I'm over the moon.
Oh, it's just Delta.
Right, Liam, won't keep you much longer. Thanks for doing this. Let's go and get another game.
Next one.
Cheers, Liam.
This is something that comes along every now and then in generation, and it's special.
Is your debt causing you sleepless nights? Knock your debt out with Debt KO. And your debt won't be the only thing keeping you up at night. Debt KO, free impartial advice on all your debt.